On paper, third choice, but on the pitch again tonight in the continuing absence of
formation, not just his selection. But it does look a very solid back four. Lots of experience in that line, but it's ahead of that where he's thinking a little bit. Peter Hauser is going to be playing in that third.
But still make 4 changes. Peter Grant, sadly for them, is ill, but compensation in the return of the record signing Phil O'Donnell to take his place alongside Paul McStay and John Collins in the centre of midfield. Irishman Paul Byrne, who scored in the last Old Firm fixture in October, he gets a recall tonight. He'll play wide on the right. But it's the defensive unit that's given Tommy Burns most cause for thought. Tommy Boyd is switched to the centre of the back line alongside Brian O'Neill. Mike Galloway comes in at right back.
And Phil O'Donnell back in the side, and watch for him. He will be the one who will drive forward, and it'll be Stuart McCall's job to look after him. Day for that young man, the goalkeeper, Martin Collins Scott. He'll be nervous. He'll be nervous early on. And I'm sure that Celtic will try and put the young man under a bit of pressure early in the game.
The black armbands, incidentally, out of respect for the wife of Tony Mowbray, Celtic player who died tragically at the weekend. Sparks are sure to fly. And it's after the break. Very experienced referee, and you sense one is required in such an atmosphere. Celtic to kick off. Rangers currently ruling the roost in Scotland. Celtic trying to find a present to match their own glorious past. Honours even in the league meetings so far this season. Gordon Jury sent flying by Brian O'Neill.
Yeah, no surprise to see a tackle early in the match. Brian O'Neill's, I think, probably right. He made a little bit more of it. Gordon Jury.
Andy Walker, really the one out-and-out forward for Celtic, trying to apply some pressure. Good kick by Scott, this young goalkeeper. I say young, he's 24. He's been here some 8 seasons, but he's very young in terms of lack of experience on occasions such as this tonight. Galloway flying in, headed forward by David Robertson. A typical derby tussle between Tom Boyd and Charlie Miller, who's playing further forward tonight than he has been in recent Rangers sides.
He's normally in recent weeks been in midfield, Martin, but he scored a bucket full of goals for the reserves from a forward position. And with problems with Haitley, problems with McCoy, Slaughter Smith feels that Miller's best job tonight will be up front.
Celtic, who've just endured their worst run without a win in league football in their entire history. They've got a victory against Falkirk at the weekend. But this would be a wonderful way to build on it if they could find the strength and the skill.
Well, they are the only team to defeat Rangers in a league match here this season, and I think that'll be firmly in their minds. Certainly Tommy Burns would have used that.
Galloway wanted to be quite precise with the throw. Goff stepping in. Here's Paul McStay on his 600th competitive appearance for Celtic tonight.
It's a big area that tonight, the midfield, with McStay, Collins and O'Donnell of Celtic. They're very, very strong, I feel, in that area. We've got Walter Smith, Spector, 2 real competitors in Ferguson and McCall in there to combat them.
Bowley's ball bypassing the midfield, but was not the height of Haitley. They tried to drop it in for Miller. Walker chasing, back with Celtic after a 3-year absence south of the border with Bolton, where he had some splendid times and also picked up a serious knee injury. The weather here, incidentally, comparatively mild compared to recent days. Been quite a lot of rain. Pitch in very good condition, even though Rangers have had to train on it over the past couple of weeks because of the absence of other facilities which have been frozen up. McCall. Forward from Goff. Away sensibly enough by O'Neill. Very important, you feel, for Celtic not to concede anything early on. Ferguson. This is Laudrup. Still Laudrup. Well, it's drifted behind. Having done what seemed like the hardest part of the job, he couldn't provide the cross to create the chance.
Well, this is what I mean. He just drifted wide to the left, and to be fair, Ian Ferguson picks him out beautifully. One against one, what he thrives on. Skips past Galloway, and just when you think he's picking someone out, well, there's a novelty for you right away. A Laudrup cross, it goes aimlessly wide. You don't see that happen often. He's got good quality.
The suggestion that the tension can get to even the most talented.
Well, it was a warning to Celtic as well, Martin.
Forward by McLaren, who actually started at his first club, Hearts, as a right back, which is where he's playing tonight. Robertson. It's been something of a transitional season for Rangers, but despite that, they've marched on at the top of the table. They had an awful August, of course. As Andy was saying, Celtic came here and won. They went out of the European Cup straight away out from Athens. They went out of the League Cup here at home as well. 3 home defeats in a week. And the signs were not so good for the Blues. Everything here, including the artificial track around the outside, is blue. You wonder one day whether they'll get the grass blue as well.
You bet your life they've tried it.
Header by Boyd. O'Neill tucking in behind him. Firing it up to Walker, but Goff was on him in a flash. As Boyd is now into the back of Miller.
Well, in the Premiership in England, Mark, that's an automatic yellow card. Just takes young Charlie Miller, Tom Boyd. But perhaps referees a little bit more lenient north of the border.
Miller, 18 years old already, a Scotland under-21 international. Bags of promise. Stuart McCall takes the free kick. But again, they've got to be more precise without Mark Hateley in that type of service up into Celtic's penalty area.
Yeah, the major threat from set pieces there, Richard Goff. Brian O'Neill really was so close to him, not giving him an inch of space.
Little Brian McLaughlin, who's a jinky winger on the left side. Tommy Burns has got a crop of promising youngsters, although he's left 1 or 2 of them out tonight, understandably. But McLaughlin has been selected, and he's got Stuart Gray playing behind him. McLaren with a throw. Jury, enigmatic. Can be a match winner, there's no doubt about that when he's really on his go. Goff alongside Walker once more. Here's the Dutchman Houstra, who's shortly to go off and earn a fortune, if not perhaps fame, in the Japanese league. Miller's just pulled away to the right to get away from O'Neill. Plenty of players back for Celtic to cope with the slight glimmer of danger.
Well, that was better from Celtic. The defending was better, Mark, but when the ball was played to Andy Walker, they had 2 players at last caught him up. He's got a tough job on Andy Walker tonight. Because if Celtic do have to defend at times, and when the ball's played up to him, he's really got to keep a hold of it.
Here he does now, and make sure that Celtic keep possession. Galloway. Whether he just saw Colin Scott moving out, anticipating a cross, and there was a gap there that he decided to try and exploit.
Well, I think that's exactly right. Colin Scott did move away to his reach. How far out he is. Obviously expecting the cross to come. Sometimes that ain't a bad idea. You get that in target, you might put your side one up.
It's a versatile character, Galloway. He's at right back tonight. And Boyd in the centre. Boyd has been recently the right back. This is this lovely character, Paul Byrne, who's certainly not short on confidence. Loudon. Well, the culprit was Collins, and Jim McCluskey wants a word with him.
Well, again, I think we'd find south of the border. That would be a yellow card, Martin. Sometimes what you get with the referees, and it's admirable that Jim McCluskey hasn't shown us a yellow card. First bad tackle, out comes a card, just to let the players know he means business. Not with the referee tonight. He just thinks a stern word's enough. And I'm not going to argue with him.
He's officiated 7 times in Old Firm derbies, so I think he knows his way around. House trap. That's what Miller can do if he gets the ball into feet. Jury operating mostly from the right-hand side. Albert's come across the centre, and it's straightforward for Pat Bonner. We haven't mentioned him yet. He's only just back in the Celtic goal. It's his 3rd game, and he's been unbeaten in the previous 2. That was Galloway on Robertson. I think it's time for a card from Jim McCluskey. A booking for Galloway.
Well, he pops off the ball and goes to look for the 1-2. And he just body checks on Mike Galloway. I don't think he can have any arguments with that. I think what he's saying to the referee is, that's my first free kick that I've given away, and you let my other 2 teammates off.
The Frenchman Basile Boli has come up. McCall.
I'm a bit surprised there. I thought with the space that Stuart McCall had when he received the ball, it was certainly worthwhile just pulling the trigger. This early in the game, I think that's the thing that surprised me. No one's really been prepared to have a shot. Look at the amount of space he had. Time to look up and assess it. I just think early in a game of this importance, with nerves at a maximum, it's worth having a go early on.
He has been a consistent figure in a changing season for Rangers. Stuart McCall, good pressure by Miller. O'Neill, and the linesman indicates there that it's going to be a free kick to Rangers, and
it's a booking as well. Yeah, I don't think, again, Brian O'Neill was so blatant. You watch him here, no intention of going for the ball. He's looking at Miller, look at that. And I don't think that Brian O'Neill could have any argument with that one either.
He seemed to know he was losing the race, and now he has to defend under the extra handicap of having a booking against his name. What can Rangers do with the free kick? They tee up Ian Ferguson. Slipped as he hit it. Well, it's one-on-one here. If Walker can get going, the pass had just taken him wide away from David Robertson. McLaren, that's McStay, and again that desire to please, perhaps a tension in the way he approached the ball, rather than relaxing it and striking it cleanly.
Well, it wasn't dealt with very well. Al McLaren got in a pickle, used his wrong foot there, trying to clear a ball, didn't do it very well. It dropped nicely for Paul McStay, and he's a good striker of the ball. But perhaps even a man of his experience suffering a little bit from early match nerves.
Collins, who's been a bit of a thorn in the Rangers' side in terms of Celtic goal scoring in recent Old Firm encounters, particularly from free kicks. Hasn't had an opportunity yet to show off his repertoire. O'Neill in strongly. And again, to beat Jury to the ball.
Well, even in these early moments of the game, Mark, you can see why Celtic have been difficult to beat. Haven't won as many games as Tommy Burns would like, but they've drawn an awful lot because they do get men back behind the ball and they do make it very difficult for sides. Problem is when that happens, when they knock it forward like that, 40, 50 yards ahead of them, it really is tough for Andy Walker to get it down and keep 2 or 3 players out of it while his teammates catch play up.
They do have 2 forwards on the bench, Charlie Nicholas and one of the youngsters, Chris Hay. Should Tommy Burns need to change it later on. Stuart Gray, now McLaughlin. Collins is in there, McLaughlin fighting for it. Rangers standing firm on the edge of their own area. Space for Jury to move into. Loudrup's cross. And the earliness of it troubling Galloway.
Well, had he missed Galloway out, then Charlie Minner was totally free behind him.
Both Goff and Bowley coming up. Loudrup with the corner. Retrieving, done with typical earnest endeavour by McCall. Miller. Big appeals for handball from the 7,500 Celtic fans.
That's what the referee's given. He makes a good run. Makes himself a good target for Stuart McCall, but just skips away from there. Just there, I think it brushes his hand as he controls it at first.
Paki Bonner, who was given a free transfer by Lou Macari at the end of last season and was set to join Kilmarnock, who were then managed by Tommy Burns. Must have been some word on the grapevine because the move was put on hold and Bonner has stayed here for Burns at Celtic. McStay. Paul Byrne. McCall going in. Absolute grim determination to make it his. Jury. And making a bit of luck for himself and still going. Gordon Jury for Rangers. Well, everything being done at 100 miles an hour. The fans dictate the tempo, really.
Well, in the game, the players are just trying to make it difficult for their opponents to play. It's
Byrne tucking back in on the right-hand side, which I'm sure Tommy Burns will want him to do. Boyd, current member of Craig Brown's Scotland squad. Celtic in no hurry to take the throw. Rangers trying to squeeze them into the corner here. Goff wins it. Out by O'Neill, but no one to aim for. And John Collins looked round, a little gesture of annoyance with his centre-back not playing through midfield.
Well, I think early in the game that Tommy Burns won't be too bothered about that, Mark. I think it's vital in games of this importance that you don't give anything away. I understand what John Collins is saying, with only, we keep emphasising, with only Andy Walker up front, if they can play it through midfield with Collins, with McStay, more patient build-up, and that would be more beneficial to Celtic.
Celtic, remember, have only lost 3 league games, the same as Rangers, but as we've been emphasising, they've drawn too many, really to fuel any title hopes of their own. Although things, as Scottish football fans will learn, can change very quickly with 3 points for a win. Handball by Collins. Played short by McLaren to McCall. Laudrup with licence to roam. This match, incidentally, being transmitted to his native Denmark. Bowley in first for Rangers. Jury trying to do the same in the Celtic half. Very composed there about young Stuart Gray, I must say, at left back. McLaughlin. O'Neill, who is a midfield player by trade, and it showed rather than McStay. Worth a crack. Hits Richard Gough. Ferguson sending it funnel back into David Robertson. Something for Walker to try and chase here against McLaren. Down goes Andy Walker, on goes the game, says Jim McCluskey. That was a bit more promising from Celtic's point of view. McCall. Trying to thread it through to Miller, but the run was well read by Boyd.
Yeah, but the Celtic build-up was a good one, Martin. Ball stayed on the ground, they popped a few passes together, and finally Paul McStay got space to go and drive at the back four of Rangers. And that was promising, that was a confidence-building move, it really was. That's the type of football that you feel they've got to play.
Well, it would be easy to say on league standing and current success that Rangers are favourites, but when are there ever favourites in Old Firm games? Results are totally unpredictable. Byrne. Stopped by Houstra. Byrne annoyed with some of his teammates for not making movements to help him out. Jury. Plenty of bodies for Celtic in the centre of midfield. And they get a free kick as well.
They're working really hard, Celtic, when they lose the ball, Martin. Every time they lose the ball and a Rangers player gets it, then they're one, sometimes two green and white shirts around.
In relative terms, the only way is up for Celtic. They've had a harrowing time. They certainly don't dispute that. But with Tommy Burns at the helm, and plenty of ambition in the boardroom as well. Hope for the future. A good result tonight will certainly encourage the rebuilding. Ferguson.
Look at the green and white shirts back behind the ball already, though, Martin. That was a good break from David Robertson, but they just held it up for a second, and that gave Celtic time to get plenty of people back.
It's McCall's shot set up by Robertson, who'd stayed forward. Here's Jury. Mistake by Gray.
Well defended. Well defended. You say he's more used to being a midfield player, but he showed good defensive ability there. Wasn't tempted to dive in, but at moments earlier, Mark, there was a huge cry from behind the goal. Celtic fans, whether they spotted something, I don't know. As McCall runs there, there's a little tango. Yeah, I think that was it there. I think Stuart McCall's a lucky man that the referee didn't spot that.
Forward from Ferguson's head, wide from Miller's head. Jury deciding to put it in early this time. Galloway coming across from right back. Measured ball forward by Stuart Gray. Very much one from the family tradition. Not only his father, of course, a Scotland international, but his uncle Frank as well.
You just get the impression that both sides are lacking in the firing line department. Both playing with lone strikers, I would say. Brian Laudrup is given room to license to float all over the place. Doesn't really play up front as you'd expect. And with Andy Walker, the lone Celtic striker, I think it's hardly surprising that the opening 23 minutes of this game has been very tight and that the possession just about even.
Well, it's one up, 2 wide, and the 2 wide men are going back in the midfield to give both sides 5 in midfield when they want it.
And then it becomes very difficult then, Martin, if the ball's played quickly forward for the wide midfield players to get in contact. The players, sorry Martin, the players from the central area who you'd expect to go forward, Phil O'Donnell, I don't think he's really been released yet. Perhaps that's something to do with the opening 20 minutes, seeing it out. And Peter Houstra, who you probably expected the 3 Rangers players to be the one to get forward most.
Well, this is a new experience for O'Donnell, and of course he's only just back from injury himself. Celtic feel that perhaps he played football last season with Motherwell when he wasn't fully fit. They needed him, and he was prepared to go and battle for them. He's battling here, but it's gone behind.
Well, that was better. I mean, that's what I mean. That's the type of run that
he can get forward.
Yeah, that Phil O'Donnell does make. That is his trademark for me, that forward run.
And his presence tonight might just have surprised Rangers. Celtic keeping it under wraps that the comeback was on, but they've needed him. Peter Grant, Celtic to the core, of course. And he must be feeling very desolate not to be well enough to take part tonight. He'll be pleased with the way his teammates have begun this New Year encounter, regarded in Scotland as perhaps the most traditional of the meetings between Rangers and Celtic.
But another good example there, Ian Ferguson picking up the ball and 3 green and white shirts around the mark. Again, good pressure.
Here's Gray. It's only his 3rd start in the senior side for Celtic. The flag was up for offside, not required because Rangers got the ball. Jury, and it'll break here for Laudrup. He's in on goal for Rangers.
Wow, what a chance. And he's so good on either side, Martin. You just fully expected the man to tuck it in. You see him break wide, and Gordon Jury gets lucky because his pass shouldn't really have got there now, I think. From then on, you really did fancy him. Goalkeeper does well, he stands big for a long time. We'll get a better view of it here. Look at Pat Bonner, stands big. Doesn't make it easy for Laudrup. But a real chance.
Best chance in the match so far.
Without a doubt. It all stemmed as well. It's Stuart Gray had bombed forward, Martin, and his pass got cut out, and there was a real big gap there behind him. Unfortunately for Celtic, Rangers got the ball into it very quickly.
I don't know whether Jim McCluskey spotted the flag. If he did and let the game go on, it was a good advantage played as well. Miller with the ball at his feet, and that's a terrific tackle by O'Neill. Had to be absolutely inch perfect. Byrne just taking it behind Goff for a moment, who got back to block the attempted cross. Collins. Galloway. He was clipped by Goff, and Galloway might say, well, hang on, I've been booked. There's the card coming out for Goff as well.
I think what the referee is saying is you made a little bit more of that than was necessary, and I think he's probably right, very much like Gordon Jury did early.
But I said earlier, John Collins has certainly caught out Rangers with some free kicks in the past.
This just, and I say just, might be a little bit too far out, but he'll certainly fancy it, John Collins.
Against the 3rd choice goalkeeper, Colin Scott. There's Collins, has got extravagant bend on it, but too much elevation.
I just felt it was perhaps maybe 4 or 5 yards too far out. As you can see, the goalkeeper can get a really good view of that. And I think even that on target would have been bread and butter for the goalkeeper. But put John Collins 4 or 5 yards nearer, and there would be some fluttering Rangers' hearts.
McStay. McLaughlin trying to help him on the left. Gray does give him the right angle. Then McLaughlin involved. It's a throw to Celtic. Gray. Here's McLaughlin. Oh, he made half a yard to get his cross in. And it's needed a defensive header behind from David Robertson.
Yeah, he didn't waste his time. Brian McLaughlin just shifted the ball and delivered it into the box.
McLaughlin and Collins at the corner. Didn't quite go according to plan.
I didn't see the sense in that myself. The Rangers had two players out, very close to the ball. A good opportunity to put a ball into the box and put some pressure on.
Rangers, incidentally, 9 games unbeaten, 23 points out of 27. A run that started with the 3-1 success over Celtic at Hampden, Celtic's temporary home. And it hasn't, in truth, been too homely for them in terms of their results there. Misunderstanding between Gray and McLaughlin again. Andy Walker trying to take it on, but contact was a bit too strong as the cross came up.
Good idea, though.
Area.
Good idea from Andy Walker, Mark. There was plenty of pace on the ball. He just tried to chest it in front of him.
Collins. Gray not quite so accurate with the right foot. Collins, McLaughlin. Byrne herring into the middle to join Walker. Here he is. It's going to come here for Galloway. Still Galloway, they're trying to set it up in the centre. Gordon Jury trying to run it out. And Rangers get a throw.
I just get the impression that Celtic are growing a little bit in confidence.
I agree with you, Andy.
They're passing when they get the ball and they elect to pass it, and I think John Collins is having more and more of an influence in the game. It's been crisp and it's been bright, particularly down the left side. Stuart Gray and Brian McLaughlin in tandem, and it's caused Rangers a problem or two.
Well, look just behind our commentary position in the spectacles there, Tommy Burns. He might be pleased with the way his side are setting about their task, the Celtic manager. And also getting more players forward in support of Andy Walker. McLaughlin. Free kick to Celtic. Foul by McLaren.
Doesn't it seem strange when you see free kicks like that, Mark? There's no cards are whipped out. I have to say I like it.
It's O'Neill trying to guide it on.
Well, he had half a yard on Richard Gough, but Gough really had to make a powerful challenge. He got himself in front, Brian O'Neill, just a fraction as he comes across, and really Richard Gough had to make sure he got plenty of power in there.
Phil O'Donnell by the near post. Almost came for Walker from Collins' shot. Cleared by Miller. Back comes Celtic again. It's a good spell for the visiting side at the moment. McCall, Laudrup, who's let one good chance get away from him and Rangers.
Well, that'll interest people. The home side, second best in the attacking areas, Martin. I don't think that does emphasise the last 5 or 10 minutes. I agree with you, it's been Celtic's best part of the match so far. They're most confident.
But McLaren sensing a relatively rare opportunity to make a forward sortie down the Rangers' right. Well won by Bowley. Indeed, as he was being fouled by Walker. Rangers trying to take the free kick quickly, but from the wrong place. Jim McCluskey continues to give the right air of authority without having to produce a rash of yellow cards. No challenge from Rangers. Bowley's approach to the ball was rather blocked off. It's McCall. ...34 now, Pat Bonner, been with Celtic since the late 70s. Quickly forward by McStay, trying to drop it behind Goff, who repositioned. McStay on the scene, nippily again.
That was good play by Paul McStay. Really a throw-in in the halfway line. He just asked for it to be thrown in. He followed it forward and really did make up some ground to be first to it.
A message from Archie Knox to Charlie Miller.
I think there's a problem, Mark, because I think Archie Knox indicated to one of the subs to get himself warmed up.
Crossed by Galloway. Don't really back McLaughlin to win too many headers. And indeed, in trying to get any advantage he could, a free kick was given against him.
Well, he had a word and then turned round, Archie Knox, as if to say to Ian Durant, get ready, you just might be going on. But when we look at the time, I think they'll be anxious to make sure that nothing happens till half-time at least.
And Miller is not moving freely. McLaren. And the way Rangers have set out their formation, if they want to play through the middle, and they've been trying to get the ball to Charlie Miller's feet, but that's been difficult enough when he's been in full working order, which he doesn't seem to be at the moment. It's too high for him.
See, I just think when the ball's played up like that, you would be looking for Gordon Jury to be making runs in behind. He's just standing, waiting to see, and I would just be asking for more.
You know, it's coming up 20 years since the authorities in Scotland set up a league system where the clubs met each other 4 times each season. Many in the Scottish game feel that that's not been a particularly productive move, that familiarity has brought a sort of contempt. It's certainly made it difficult week in, week out against opponents that know the game plan so often. But you have to say there's been nothing lost in the appeal of the Old Firm fixture by having double rations. Boyd trying to prevent the corner. Well played by him.
Well played by Galloway as well. No panic from either of them. It was good defending. Tom Boyd very precise, and Mike Galloway, no fluke, just nicking it off. Loudrup for the throw-in.
Boyd in there quickly. Celtic doing what they have to do defensively, but they're not being given too many problems in truth. Activity on the Rangers bench. Walter Smith has come down to maybe supervise a substitution here, talking to Ian Durant. And there's the tactical briefing. McCall. Well, Miller could get in here. Ferguson does. Ian Ferguson against the run of play in truth, but Rangers lead.
And it's all down to the man who will have that fuel, Martin. 5 minutes earlier could easily come off. Charlie Miller. Stuart McCall just knocks a ball over the top. Miller's first to react. They get the break of the ball there. Ferguson's the first to react, and he tucks it in quite comfortably. But that's just a hopeful ball in, and Miller makes something happen. He doesn't quite connect with a volley, and that ends up a simple task for Ian Ferguson to put Rangers ahead.
Goal after 38 minutes to reactivate Rangers here, when Walter Smith was down on the bench thinking substitution. Suddenly his side are in front. McStay. Here's Burr. Too high for Bowley to reach. Steered out by McCall. Laudrup turning McLaughlin once and twice. Well, the fans, you felt, were having furrowed brows, the vast majority here, with the shape of the first half. But suddenly Rangers have scored. And the reward for Ian Ferguson for following in. It's Galloway. Banged rather high by Bowley. Wasn't a total clearance. Now the game has been stopped with 2 players down. Richard Gough certainly the victim for Rangers. But a moment in which to reflect on the goal, Andy.
Came at the right time for him. Phil O'Donnell's the injured Celtic player. He sees the ball's played in. Look at the committed faces here, going 3 of them. Richard Gough and Phil O'Donnell, look at that, right in Phil O'Donnell's left cheek. And he would have felt that, man, but he's up and he's on his feet. But this is the moment that's lifted the crowd here, the majority of them. Now watch Ferguson there, you see him, the number 8. Now he's level almost with Stuart McCall as he knocks it in, and Ferguson goes. Miller gets blocked, shots get blocked. Bonner can't keep his feet, and it's a simple task for Ian Ferguson to give his side the lead. Been out the side recently. It's a nice way to come back for him.
Well, we first heard of Ian Ferguson when he got a Scottish Cup winning goal in his time at St Mirren. Really attracted the attention of Rangers. And an old firm goal for him here to perhaps bring some order to the home team, who hadn't been serving up their best. Finding the Celtic strategy, smothering the attacking ideas, and as we were stressing, Celtic growing in confidence prior to the goal through midfield. O'Neill, he probably thought he cleared the danger with that defensive header that went to McCall, popped it back in behind Celtic, and it ran for Rangers from then on. Halstra, Robertson. 3 minutes to go to half-time plus stoppage time. It's a fine ball by Gough. Caused some uncertainty in Stuart Gray. Crossed by Laudrup. Clearing header again by O'Neill. Walker trying to help it on. It's a big man, Basil Bowley, to come flying into you as he did to Walker then. That's McCall's header, making his own defenders work. McLaughlin comes for Collins. This is Byrne. Galloway goes outside him. Scott coming off his line and getting there before Andy Walker.
They only had the one option though, Byrne, and that was Walker. It was a lovely move, great ball from Collins, left to right. Good run from Galloway, it gives him some time, but look at that, 3 blue shirts against Andy Walker. And that's what I mean about he needs more help in there. When balls are coming into the box, someone from the midfield area for Celtic has got to do what Ian Ferguson did for Rangers.
Really, you'd expect O'Donnell to be the man. But after that facial clash with Goff, I'm amazed he's still standing. McStay. Galloway. It comes for O'Donnell. Trying to tee up McLaughlin.
Well, his chances go for Celtic in the first half. That's a decent one. He's get caught with the flight of it, Basil Borley, I felt. He gets caught with the flight of it there. He can't quite reach it. Phil O'Donnell does well. He just shifts it. It's there to be hit. Keep it down. He can't do it. Over the top.
It's a sort of outswinger that Darren Goff will be hoping to bowl for England in a couple of hours. Fascinating final day of the Test match that you'll see on Sky Sports. McStay. Here's Collins. All alive as Celtic have to be. Certainly got the craft and the class in midfield with Collins and McStay. Have they got the clout up front? Galloway. Byrne. Give and go here. That offers some promise for Celtic. Tim McCluskey looks away. Only 1 or 2 Celtic players appealing as Walker went down. McLaren. What was required, really. And he was just slipping and sliding for a moment.
It's been a good response from Celtic, Martin, since the goal. They've put 2 or 3 decent attacks together, but they just haven't connected with a final ball into the box. But they've got themselves in some good forward positions wide.
Well, Walker's working hard to be the first man, but if he takes defenders away, Celtic have got to have 1 or 2 other avenues if they're going to get back here, having conceded the first goal. That's the sort of midfield minefield explosion that you expect with so much physical contact, and plenty of it being allowed by the referee. Galloway. This is Byrne. Oh, Bolly took it away from the goalkeeper.
Well, I'm sure he certainly looked like he called, Colin Scott. Well, if you're going to get in the mix-up with your goalkeeper, at least put your head on it and clear it. And Basil Borley will say, well, I did that. But again, Celtic got themselves into a good advanced area wide, Martin, and delivered a ball into the box.
It's half-time at Ibrox. Celtic have given a good account of themselves, but Rangers lead. Ian Ferguson back in the side, following in to good effect. Just too high for O'Neill. Knocked out of harm's way by Jury. And Rangers can regroup. Crowd these days at Ibrox less than 50,000, although the capacity will go up beyond that with the next stage of redevelopment. But the Celtic minority pleased to see the confusion.
Well, they shouldn't be giving the goalkeeper a stick. They really shouldn't, man. I thought the young goalie did well. How often do you see it when a goalkeeper and a defender get too close together? He just allowed the centre-back to deal with it, and in all honesty, he didn't deal with it very well.
Goalkeeper deals with that well, Colin Scott. Andy Gorham was telling me he's maybe 3 days away from his comeback. The game's come 3 days early for him. He'd love to have been out there tonight. And Scott slipping as he cleared. McCall. This is Laudrup. Being tugged.
Well, he has a danger. I think one of the things, if you were Walter Smith, you would have been saying is try and get the ball to Brian Laudrup a little bit more. When you see the problems he's given Mike Galloway, he's hauling away at his jersey there. That's an easy decision for the referee.
Well, Bowley made the run towards the near post. Exchange of views there with O'Neill and Boyd involved as well.
Well, get a good look at it. Watch the two people in there. Well, he makes a run. It doesn't do an awful lot wrong for me. Brian O'Neill is entitled to hold his ground. He's entitled just to let the ball drift aimlessly past him. But he took exception to it, Basil Bowley.
He, incidentally, is the son of a diplomat, but he hasn't been particularly diplomatic himself, Bowley, in his time in Scotland. You remember earlier in the season he spoke out against his teammates and his manager. Got himself into hot water and had to sort all that out. And at the moment he's all fired up here. Feeling, even as a foreigner, the special pressures of this particular fixture.
I'm not surprised to see Tommy Burns send his side out with the same formation, Martin, early in the second half. I think that makes sense. At 1-0, they're still very much in the game, and they didn't play badly, I felt, in the first half. And perhaps a little unfortunate to go in at the break 1-0 down. So I'm not surprised to see the same formation set out, but I just wonder how long it will be if the scoreline stays the same before he looks to change it, and with Charlie Nicholas being the obvious one to bring on.
Laudrup, that's another throw. It's a throw.
Well, he's got great feet, Brian Laudrup, he really has. He just drifts out of play with this one. But the way he just dinked past people there, oops, there's one, and just goes out. But watch it again as he just, someone comes in and he's passed again. Great skill.
And we shouldn't be surprised, he's an established international figure, and all credit to Walter Smith for being able to attract him to play for Rangers Football Club. Already at this stage, they reckon he's a cert to pick up all the individual honours. Walker. Well, suddenly there was an opening there. Phil O'Donnell was ploughing through. It's a corner.
It was a good opening. It was a really good opening. And that's what they need more of. Phil O'Donnell doing things like this. Walker gets a touch. It's very important that David Robertson's covering was good. His positioning had to be good, or else too far away. O'Donnell was through, clean shot at goal. But David Robertson was across very, very quickly to get in a very important tackle in. But you see O'Donnell for about the first time in the match breaking into the 18-yard box. A real threat. And what a good, timely interception that was.
It's Byrne. Oh, well reached by Bowley. Collins. For McLaughlin. Plenty of Celtic players in the Rangers penalty area. McStay. Galloway. Rangers pen back. And McLaren's header veers behind for a corner.
Good pressure. This is really good pressure.
Helping out well there against another quick McLaughlin turn.
He's looked great, Brian McLaughlin, tonight, Mark, when he's had the ball. Like Frank McAvenny says, I agree with him in half-time. If they could get the ball more to this left side with Stuart Gray and him in tandem. And John Collins, who favours his left side as well. That was their best option in the first half. McLaughlin showed us there, he's still confident enough to take people on and provide crosses.
Walker. Gray. Hammering it in. Blocked by Bolly. The worry for Celtic is what Rangers can create on the counter-attack. Not much there from Jury. Robertson's header down. Little touch from Halstra. Flag up against Brian Lardner. Such a famous footballing family, brother Michael, and their father Finn was a Danish international as well. And it's not been a game littered with offside decisions.
Which is nice to see. I think both defences have backed off, man. That's the thing. Always been prepared to hold a line.
Well, Celtic keeping it in. Jim McCluskey allowing it to be a man's game. All the tenacity you'd expect in the tackling. Plenty of free kicks conceded, but mostly uncomplainingly. Going wide by McCall. Another attempt to involve Loudrup in proceedings. You can't blame Rangers for doing that whenever possible.
I think they're anxious though about this left side, Rangers, because Archinock's called across the pitch and brought Brian Loudrup all the way from left to right. We said to him, you know, it looked like we were saying to him, stay here for 5 or 10 minutes.
Rangers looking for a win here, which would extend their advantage over Motherwell to 13 points. And in terms of Glasgow partisan feeling, would put them 20 points ahead of Celtic. McStay. O'Donnell going in. Well, he's getting in there.
That's better.
A bit more often now.
That's better. You see, the cross is a bit in first half, Martin. Nobody's in there. But this time they've got 3. And Phil O'Donnell really makes his presence felt. I think only just a slight nudge from Bolly. Just took that over as he goes up, climbs well above him. But he's hitting the ball under pressure and he can't get on top of it and get it down.
Loudrup. Having played it to no one in particular, Paul Byrne prepared to chase on himself. Celtic chasing the game.
They're chasing the game and I think bossing the midfield area, which I thought earlier on would be important. I think McStay and Collins are having more and more of a say. And of course we've seen already, twice already early in the second half that Phil O'Donnell is more prepared to go forward onto those runs.
Again, like an old hand, Stuart Gray, who can't remember seeing his father Eddie play, but has some of that control, and he's there again. Certainly got the physique to play in the senior team. On from O'Donnell for Byrne on the left this time. Walker in the centre. This time, he was an isolated figure.
And again, it was good build-up. There's no doubt they're the better side in the second half.
McLaren can do no more than get it out of play. A bit of push and shove there with O'Donnell. Walker. And again, all that's there for McLaren to do Gives Celtic another throw.
Well, they've just changed it slightly. They've swapped the wide men. McLaughlin and Byrne have swapped wings. Byrne now on this left side, McLaughlin on the right.
Well, these are manful efforts by Celtic to try and get level. Galloway. Ferguson gives it away to McStay. Early cross met by McLaren defensively. Collins trying to get into a shooting position. Hits Bowling.
Well, there's some desperate defending going out there, Mark. They just can't get hold of the ball at all, the home side. And I think that tells you all about how well Celtic have played in the second half.
Collins with the cross. Oh, it's a brilliant goal. A marvellous goal by Byrne. Fired it in on the volley. Wonderful equaliser, thoroughly deserved by Celtic.
Oh, it's been on the cards, Martin, but a magnificent ball from John Collins. I said he's been having more and more of an influence in this game, but look at the way he picks out Byrne. And this isn't an easy chance. And it's a magnificent strike. Reminiscent of Andrik and Chelskis' goal early in the season at the City Ground, Nottingham. That's a magnificent strike, it really is. He sets that outside the post, and he's got enough bend in it, Byrne, to just curl it past the goalkeeper into the far corner. A goal fully deserved.
Well, he scored in the previous fixture between the two sides. He was a loser then. But Celtic suggesting here that a win is not beyond them. They beat Rangers at Ibrox, remember, back in August. The question was whether they could score in their period of domination. Well, you've had the answer in fantastic style from a real chatterbox of an Irishman, Paul Byrne.
Just when I'd said,
not stop talking about that one.
Just when I'd said they'd actually swapped wings about 5 minutes earlier, and they'd been over on this near side. Obviously decided they'd had enough of that, went back over, and how effective that proved to be. It really was a glorious strike.
Well, concern written all over the features of Walter Smith, you just saw there.
Well, they look a little bit ragged to me at the moment, Rangers.
Traditional support behind Rangers, but the rest of Scottish football you feel supporting Celtic to try and rein Rangers in. A win here for Tommy Byrne's team. Ferguson. Here's Robertson. Halstrom. Rangers provoked into some attacking of their own. They've got a free kick. As an offensive force, they've not been conspicuous in the second half. Basil Boli is in there, who's grabbed many a goal in French football.
Well, we can look at this goal, I think, again and again. It's just the way that John Collins works the space, Mark, looks up, and this is a pass right out the top drawer. Look at that. And so is the strike. Look at it, it starts about a yard outside the post. And he's every right to be pleased about that. Every right.
A glorious moment for Byrne and for 7.5 Celtic fans in the stands behind that goal, who saw it all at close range. And here comes O'Donnell and Walker. McLaughlin to the left. No free kick given. Walker's furious about that. Loudra. Rangers badly need a touch of class from him. 2-on-1, the centre. If Jury could have got it beyond the last defender to Halstra.
Well, he had 3 options, Gordon Jury, and from my mind, picked out none of them.
A bit of a swagger about Celtic at the moment. It's a trip on McLaren. He would have been happy to keep going, I think. Jim McCluskey couldn't take the risk. But, the Rangers defender might have lost the ball.
There's a game on now, and Walter Smith will know that.
Robertson. Jury trying to touch it on. Durant complaining to Jury. It wasn't played as he wanted it, but those sort of complaints be pleasing for Celtic to see the Rangers players arguing.
What a decision that is, Martin. What a decision that is. The flag went up after a wonderful dummy from Paul McStay. I mean, it was so late. You watch the pass play. Now, there's no one offside. Now, watch the dummy. There it is. Now, watch the flag. There it is. I mean, that's an incredible decision. It really is.
Yes, it was given as if McStay had touched the ball.
Even then, I doubted he was offside.
Boyd has done very well in the centre defence, winning the header again against Jury. Here comes Collins. Celtic really sensing that this is set up to be their night. Collins again, plenty of options for him. McLaughlin with the cross. Calmly dealt with by McCall, but it only went as far as McStay.
Well, if Rangers don't stop the mid-three, that's McStay, O'Donnell and Collins from dominating the game, Martin, I think they'll lose this. They're totally dominant in midfield at the moment. Collins and McStay in particular on the ball.
Well, Celtic's problem, getting the attempts on target.
Well, the one that mattered has gone in.
The fourth official taking issue with Archie Knox and Walter Smith, who were angrily trying to get some messages, really to pep things up front. It seemed the area of the team that they were calling to, Gordon Jury in particular.
I would think you've almost got to go man for man if you're Rangers at the moment, in the midfield area.
McLaughlin. Well, the signs were there for Celtic in the first half, but they went in a goal down. Tommy Burns very frustrated by that, but there's been much more fulfilment from his players in the second half. Collins. Booted away by Bowling. Jury there before Boyd, who seemed to have brought him down. In fact, it's very hard to hear the whistle here sometimes. It is a free kick.
I actually think the Rangers are trying to go man for man. It looks to me as if they've pushed Dean Durant infield, Martin, and that makes sense. Someone's got to pick up O'Donnell, someone's got to pick up Collins, someone's got to pick up McStay. That's just to get back in the game. As I say, if they allow the Celtic trio to dominate it in that area, then they really will make them pay.
Richard Gough picked himself up. There's messages now coming from the Celtic bench via the assistant Billy Stark to Brian McLaughlin. Well, this really is poised here. Rangers, the form team with all the fans behind them, but not playing well. Celtic very much on their game. 1-1 at Ibrox. Walker got the ball. O'Donnell. Walker's up with him. Can he play him through? He went the other way. And Andy Walker raises his arms in frustration.
But again, the warning signs are there. O'Donnell joining in quicker than anyone else. And making a real good driving run at the heart of the Rangers defence.
McLaughlin behind Laudrup. Foul by McLaren. Well, he's small enough to be mistaken for one of the ball boys, Brian McLaughlin, who's playing a man's part out there for Celtic Football Club. Gray. Galloway. Another fine pass. McLaughlin very confident enough to go beyond it.
That was unlucky. It's a good idea from young Brian McLaughlin.
Oh, Richard Gough saying I'm all right. And he's managing the club at the moment. He said, no, I will stay. John Brown will wait.
Well, John Brown's a real competitor, Martin. I won't be happy at that.
A very forthright figure, Richard Gough as well, though. As you saw.
Well, I think he's entitled to 5 minutes. If he's just in and out. But I think it's a measure of the pressure that they're under, that they're anxious, that no one's carrying injuries.
McStay's pass catching Walker offside.
That was a good ball. Andy Walker didn't have any need to be offside. You look at him, he's just drifting there now. He can see Bolly in front of him, so why? Why is he pulled into an offside position? He could have just kept himself level and kept himself offside. Even though he was offside, it was still a fine ball from Paul McStay.
O'Neill coming a long way to make the header his. Bowling. Ferguson. Here's McLaren. Dragged back from Gray, but a little bit of overconfidence there. Durant. Ferguson. Rangers going across the pitch. McCall trying to drive them a bit more towards Bonner's goal. Not been too much work for the Celtic keeper tonight.
Now, they haven't passed the ball well at all in the second half, Rangers. Celtic have been way ahead in that department.
John Brown still limbering up, by the way.
I think that's showing that domination by the away side. But very much like the first half, Celtic will be aware that quite similar. Rangers can quite easily go upfield and nick a goal, Martin, even though Celtic are playing so well. This is what I mean, too much space. Look at that, the way John Collins should just get it, pop it off to Paul McStay, who in turn, under no real pressure, can pick out a pass. Whereas any blue shirt that's had the ball, Celtic have pressed him really, really well. And there's an example of it. That's a fine example of it.
Walker. Bolly played it against Andy Walker, did he?
Well, he did.
That to me.
He did quite simply. Good movement again, the way off, and it comes across. And he might have played it off himself, Mark, to be fair. He may have done the linesman an injustice.
He was front on, and let's say he was in the best position to see. Rangers can't get it away. Collins. McLaren, and that's a better ball, particularly as it's found Loudon. Jury with him. Durant trying to join in as well, but it's Gordon Jury who's been played forward here for Rangers. And Bonner now has to make a save. Well, that's exactly what perhaps spread there, pushing too many players forward.
Well, they did. They got caught 2 against 2. But it is a measure, I think, of the confidence they feel. And this is what can happen. They break quickly. Jury gets in on the left side. It's a narrow angle, but again, Paddy Bonner stays big, makes it difficult.
McCall, Ferguson, being told by McCall to keep it going to the right-hand side, but it's behind Durant. That was why the crowd were frustrated. Halstra. Ferguson. Now Durant. Good appreciation of the defensive side of his duties from McStay. Tidying it up on the edge of the area. Just a spell here to suggest that Rangers are beginning to find a second win. Durant. Foul by him.
Well, you would expect Rangers to have some of the game in the second half. It's quite amazing that we've played as long as we have, and all we've talked about is Celtic pressure, Celtic pressure.
McLaughlin. And again, found by Collins, who's got it back. Oh, and O'Donnell was the player to the right of John Collins then. McStay. Now Ferguson. It's a mistake by Goff. It's Andy Walker. And in the centre, not too pleased with his teammate, was Phil O'Donnell.
Well, it's a bit sloppy from Richard Goff. Look how casual he is. Andy Walker really does read it very well indeed. I just thought he was a little bit ambitious, a little bit anxious there. O'Donnell was making good headway into the box. It was certainly a better option, I felt.
Andy Walker's return to Scotland also took him back into the national side. More than 6 years between his first and second caps. McStay, who's always looked like a Rolls-Royce on the ball. Gray. McLaughlin. And O'Donnell and Walker to work with. McStay with similar options. And maybe a strike on his 600th appearance in Celtic's senior side.
Again, it's good football. See, Rangers just give it away. Again, Richard Goff, very casual with the clearance. It opens up for Paul McStay. He doesn't need a second invitation. But once again, the shooting boots aren't on.
Paul McStay, who's had to live with that missed penalty in the League Cup final. And Celtic were such strong favourites to get a trophy at last against Wraith Rovers. Beaten here in the penalty shootout. Handball by O'Donnell. No, not in the mind of either linesman or referee. As he leant to apply the upper chest. Well, you could say a draw would be a good result for Celtic, but they've had too many draws in terms of pressing on up the table. But here's Laudrup threatening them. For Jury. Oh, Bonner didn't move off his line initially, as if he thought he was going to get there first.
Well, when you've got Laudrup on your side, Mark, he's always likely to open you up. It's a good run from Gordon Jury, but this is a poor first touch. Very poor. Goalkeeper is late, but I think he possibly had to stay his ground a little bit. Comes out, doesn't commit himself. I think that was good goalkeeping. But the touch from Gordon Jury really wasn't a good one.
Helped on by O'Donnell. Well, Walker. McLaren got across quickly then. But again, you can see that it's not a happy ship for Rangers at the moment. Gray. I think it's emphasised what we really did know, that Mark Hateley is a mightily important man for Rangers still. But Walter Smith, knowing that he wasn't quite ready for this game, didn't want to push him and maybe lose him for a load of matches. Laudrup. And Bonner had to look for a route to get the ball out of play then.
Well, he certainly wasn't sure whether he could pick it up. It did come off a Celtic player and go to him. Whether it was a deliberate pass back to him, I'm not sure, but you can't take chances like that. Just get rid of it.
It's not a popular decision, but it's a goal kick.
Well, they never are, depending which end of the ground you're at.
As I was saying earlier, Peter Haustra with the yen for the yen. Will be off to Japan in February. So given Rangers' way. Collins. Again, Rangers not able to get to him before he released the pass. He's certainly got Celtic dancing to his tune, John Collins. It's good work by McCall. Haustra waiting for the movement from Robertson. Robertson didn't fail it. And David Robertson driving on.
Nothing ahead of him, Martin. He had nothing ahead of him. He was looking for a ball. He was looking for a pass, and he was the furthest player forward.
McLaughlin. Been very tentative in attack of the home side. The problem for Ian Ferguson is perhaps cramp.
I think it probably is.
Berg, who's given us a wonderful memory with the way he took his goal. McCall can only divert it behind for a corner. Ferguson will get some attention. A frantic game in which to make his return to the side has taken its toll.
Well, there's every chance that is camp. They've had to do an awful lot of running around in that midfield. The Rangers players without the ball, chasing Collins, chasing McStay, chasing O'Donnell. He just slides in here. I mean, he doesn't get the ball. McLaughlin just nicks it away from him, but he slides in. And that, well, I'll be surprised if it's anything other than cramp, Martin.
Well, they've loosened the tightened muscle. By Robertson, back by McLaughlin again, and well claimed by Scott.
It's a good take under pressure from O'Neill. It's a great touch from McLaughlin. His first touch killed it beautifully. This one's got height in it. This one tempts the goalkeeper, and he wasn't found wanting.
Boyd inviting Walker to challenge the ball that was always going to be easier for Goff. And here comes Celtic again. Gray. Collins. O'Donnell calling for it, and again credit the goalkeeper. I think he realised that O'Donnell wouldn't reach it, that it wasn't going to require a save, and he shepherded it behind. John Brown is coming on, but not for Richard Goff. Ian Ferguson gives way to that muscle that was feeling the cramp. Now Brown is back. Bomber, they call him here. He's had a lot of hernia problems, groin injuries, but a tough, grisly competitor.
You talked about Peter Grant being Celtic to the core. Well, there's the equivalent in a blue shirt, Mark.
McLaughlin trying to take on McLaren, who can only step across and cynically block his path.
He's looked good tonight. I've been impressed with the young kid playing wide for in the left for Celtic by McLaughlin. He's looked very confident, very tricky, and looked to cross a good ball, which is important when you play wide.
He's 20, incidentally. Looks younger than that. McStay. The link up with McLaughlin. Walker's offside.
It's a difficult ball. I just wondered, Mike Galloway's having a little word with Paul McStay. They played the 1-2 lovely, and it just needed to shift the ball, keep it going right. Watch, he plays the 1-2. Now, look at the top of the screen. Look at Mike Galloway. He wants him just to slide it to him, and look at the space he can go into. He opted for the difficult pass, and once again, Andy Walker drifted offside.
A little tiredness creeping in to Gray, who's had so few games at this level. McLaren. Can Rangers turn it their way? Well, they're having to go back to go forward. Not a popular decision with the fans. McLaughlin. Oh, it's Laudrup in a defensive capacity, showing his slide of foot. Foul by Phil O'Donnell.
He must be so difficult to play against. Brian Laudrup, you think you can tackle him, you stick your foot in. Before you know it, the ball's gone.
Laudrup, incidentally, is off for a couple of weeks to play for Denmark in an intercontinental tournament in Saudi Arabia. Something that Walter Smith has to live with, but I'm sure he's not pleased about. Leaves tomorrow. Robertson. 5 minutes or so to go. Good Celtic pressure in midfield again. McCall, but Rangers do keep possession. And they get it to Laudrup. And with him, there's always hope. Bonner does come and get it this time against Jury. Well, as a club, Celtic trying to catch up with the demands of the modern game. As a team, well, they're showing that they're making progress under Tommy Burns.
I think they've played really well tonight. I really do.
Signs of activity on the Celtic bench. Well, this is Chris Hay. Going to come on for the closing minutes, it seems. Another graduate from the Celtic Youth Academy. It's a free kick. Celtic take it quickly. McLaughlin. Gray with the cross. What a good one it was too.
That was a great ball. I felt for Alan McLaren though there.
Andy Walker was flying in to try and meet it. It was just too high for him. The goal scorer, Paul Byrne, who's given us this great memory of an old firm encounter live on Sky Sports with that wonderful equaliser, but he doesn't finish the match. Chris Hay is on.
I think that's a reward for the work he's put in, Paul Byrne. I think he's worked his socks off, and I think he's probably just shattered, and they want fresh legs on for the last 2 or 3 minutes.
McLaughlin. McStay. Oh, that's a stray one. Here's Peter Houstra for Rangers. supported by Robertson. Brown had gone to the near post. Rangers still have it with Laudrup. Oh, and Bonner's lost it. And he saves a second time. Celtic still haven't got it away. It's Laudrup again. Celtic confusion. And it's a corner. Bonner bombarded by Laudrup, and I think Ian Durant as well.
Yeah, it was Durant getting in the rebound. He can't get a hold of this shot. In comes Durant. I wonder, could he just nick it over initially? He can't. He takes it away. Bonner does well second time round. And then Stuart Gray got very sloppy.
Laudrup, what a time this would be for Rangers to score. McLaren. Not the best of crosses. Celtic wanting to play it out. Giving heart flutters to their fans. Nice touch by Laudrup again. Rowley has stayed forward. McCall. Walker to hold it up, maybe do more than that. The pass was under hit. Here come Rangers again. Halstrom. Goalie popping up wide on the left-hand side. This time Laudrup a little slow to react, but he's got the ball given to him by Phil O'Donnell. Walker, a bit more deliberate, taking aim to release it to the right that time. As we move towards stoppage time. O'Neill. This is Galloway. And now Hay. Well, he kept it in. And the poor clearance by Goff. Suddenly, hope of a winning goal for Celtic. Jury.
No, it's just anywhere for Rangers at the moment, Mark. Just desperate defending.
But coming after a spell of pressure, and Bonner had to make some saves. Durant. How much will Jim McCluskey add on here? It's a fight to the finish. And there's Stuart McCall in there, who got a goal at Motherwell, an important win on Saturday.
Again, this is very close. It's very close. This showing there what a tough job linesmen have.
All sides of the stadium.
From the Sky Satellite Network, this is Sky Sports 2. Sky Sports.